Greetings, everyone. I want to show you, in my opinion, the most important group you can have in ACT. And that is the group that puts all the contacts without an ID status. Now, as you've listened to my videos, you know that to me, this field right here, the ID status field, is the most important field in ACT. And the reason for that is because if you don't have an ID status for a contact, they're just sort of in your database. It's almost like if you don't use the ID status to organize your data, it's like taking a bunch of business cards, throwing them into a shoebox, and not really having any idea who's in there. Are they prospects? Are they clients? Vendors? Who are they? And how do you find them quickly when you need to act with them? So I think this is the most important field in ACT. Now, having stated that, I also suggest that when you have things that are important to you, put them in groups so you can find them quickly and easily and take action on them. So for example, I use this group myself so I can always make sure I can quickly get to the contacts without an ID status and create that so that I can take action on them and then move on. So let me show you how I do that. First of all, I'm going to come over to the left-hand side and I'm going to click on Groups. On the left-hand side, I'm going to come up to Groups and I'm going to go New Group. I'm going to call this one Blank ID Status. And once I put this in here, I'm going to create what's called a group membership rule or a criteria. And I'm just going to, at the end of this, put in 2023. I'm going to come down here to where it says Add Remove Contacts. I'm going to click on that. This Add Remove Contacts box comes up. You can manually add contacts. It's very rare when I use that. Having stated that, I'm going to come down to Edit Criteria and click on that. Here, the field name I'm interested in is the ID status. So I just started typing ID. That came up. I'm going to hit the Tab key to go over to the next field, and I'm going to say, does not contain data. Now, software engineers, I always get a kick out of it. They just can't say blank. But in this case, it does not contain data. I'm going to add this to the list. I'm going to click on Preview, and I'll see that there are 5 contacts here without an ID status. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click OK again. And now, anytime someone gets into my ACT database that doesn't have an ID status, I'm going to be able to find them right here. I'm going to be able to right-click on the first contact and go Create Lookup. And now here are all my contacts. I'm going to double click to go into the detail view. And at this point, I can put an ID status in. Now, the beauty of this, and I'm just going to put anything in. I'm going to run through these. And again, this isn't the list that I normally recommend, so just be aware of that. But I'm going to go to the next one. I'll do a couple of them here. And I'll just do this one, and I'll just put anything in here. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go Customer. But let me go back to the group. Keep in mind there were 5 of them. Now I put something in the ID status for 2 of them. I'm going to go back to Groups. And now you'll see there's only contacts numbering 3 in that group. So the beauty of working with groups to keep you on task is, especially if you have staff, you don't have to teach them how to look up and find these contacts. You can create a group. A lot of times I'll say, you know what, if this is really important every Monday when you come into the office, maybe this is the first thing you do. So I'll put a number in front of it. And I usually use 4 digits just to give me some flexibility with the numbering. But now I've put that in there. And at this point, after I save it, you'll see here it is. So you can use groups to group together contacts that are important to you that you need to take action on a regular, consistent basis. The beauty of this approach is as you take action on certain things, like filling in the ID status, they drop out of the group. So it really is a great strategy for really getting to know your ACT data. And in the coming tutorials, I'm going to talk about this and how to find contacts that fit criteria, that they're right there in front of you and you can take action on them. And a lot of times I tell people, think also not only about what is, but what isn't. You know, what is something, what isn't something. And you'll see that as I go through this. So my first group that I want to create is the blank ID status. Go in, make sure all your contacts have an ID status. You'll have a better experience using ACT as a CRM if this keeps you in the loop and understanding what's in front of you and what you have to work on. Thank you, everyone. You have a great day. Bye now.